Okay. I should probably do like an intro.
No.
No?
No.
No?
Hello, everybody. My name is MoriMortimer, and welcome to the stream.
Yeah, that works. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Loafing About podcast.
Holy pig!
I'm your gracious host, Meat Loafers, of Meat Loafers fame. Today, I am here with the lovely Mori F. Mortimer.
That's me. Of also Meat Loafers fame.
Of Meat Loafers fame, yep. Known for being on this stream, actually.
Yes, this is my crowning achievement, and this will be the end of my career. Yep.
Why don't you real quick, for the sake of the video, introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm Mori, short for Mortimer, last name also Mortimer, and I make music and now also theories. It just happens that the theories get more views, so I'm putting more effort into those.
Mori is the creator of Chroma Key Theory.
Chroma Key Theory, and also to those of you who have ever been in a T-Dread stream chat before, I'm the one who made that multiple covers of Andrew's the Vengeful Spirit. Andrew is the Vengeful Spirit, yeah. I guess that's technically my original claim to fame before Chroma Key Theory.
That is your legacy.
That's my legacy. Yeah.
I guess we should probably explain Chroma Key Theory, right? Just right off the bat.
Yes, yeah, because that's what I'm here to discuss. Chroma Key Theory is basically analyzing Five Nights at Freddy's through the lens of what answers can we get from colors, and visual design. And are there any existing questions that we've had in the community that can be answered through the lens of purely just being like, well, what do their visual designs tell us? So far, I think I've come to some interesting conclusions. Basically, Chroma Key Theory in itself is not like a unified, cohesive, this is what this is. Technically, the full name of it is Mori Mortimer's Marvelous Chroma Key Theory and all other subcontained sub-theories. But that's not clickbaity enough. That's not retention maxing enough.
True. You need a snappy name. You can't put that on the wiki.
No, you can't put it on the wiki. Well, I don't think I will be putting Chroma Key Theory on the wiki. It'll just contain a hyperlinks to like all of the other theories that I make. Those being, like, technically the actual theories that I'm making are Fiona Influence, Culpa David, I suppose Red Agony. And there's probably going to be some sort of like, actually, you know what? I take that back.
What about
there might be
Green Mimic?
Yes. Well, that's your theory. And I'm honestly taking it in the
Why
Green
do you think
Afton
you're here? Green Afton?
I'm actually stealing Green Afton.
I think he's really circle.
And I'm making it a better theory because it's not associated with Midnight Motorist in the slightest. Yeah, no. I mean, if anything, the like Chroma Key Theory is stating what each individual color symbolizes within the series. And I've like just recently come to my conclusion on what those colors mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of like a framework, right? That you view the series with,
Chroma
and then theories are about, right?
Yeah, Chroma Key Theory is like the framework from which I analyze Five Nights at Freddy's. And also when I like see a certain color in a certain place, I can say, oh, it has these sets of associations with it, and we can use that to further analyze the events of the series. It also doesn't include a timeline.
Doesn't include a time, because timelines are for nerds.
Yeah, because we have Rytost and dual process theory for that.
That's one of the things I'm like, I'll never make a timeline video, because there's already like 100 better timelines than I could ever make.
Yeah,
so...
no. Closest thing I'll probably come to making a timeline is making a Midnight Motorist video, and therefore a Charlie First and or Charlie Last video, depending on what I end up coming to the conclusion on.
I was on the Charlie 87 train for a little bit after I watched the video originally, and then the movie came out.
Nah, I don't think I've ever been a Charlie first person.
Mm.
I've always at least been BV first, Charlie
Oh,
second.
well, yeah.
Because also I've recently become a Charlie MCI convert.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's evil.
I know that's probably like. I mean, to be fair, I've sort of planted my flag in the ground with Henry's Party World that I'm like, I will believe
Mhm.
something that goes against community consensus purely for the sake of believing it.
Just for the bit.
Just for the bit. I mean, I do believe Henry's Party World.
Yeah.
I just think there is a very good case for, like Henry MCM and or Henry Leak. I just think it works way better if it's Henry's
Yeah.
Party World.
And that's actually that's one of the topics I have written down is Henry being the owner of Chica's
'Cause I know
Party
I
World.
wasn't
So
even the
let's
first person to
talk
believe
about that.
You want to talk about Henry's Party World?
Yeah.
So, I wasn't the one who initially posited Henry's Party World. I'm pretty sure one of the first people that on YouTube that I heard talking about it post Secret of the
Yeah.
Mimic.
You were the first person I heard.
Yeah, because the original Henry's Party World thesis was, I think, from Matt Pat's Ultimate Timeline.
Oh.
The first one, the same video that gave us Mrs. Afton CEO and William Afton saw Fredbear Singing Show in the 30s.
William Afton is 100 years old.
Yeah, part of his wildly reaching conclusions in that video was this mysterious Chica's Party World being originally started by Henry and then having been acquired by William Afton, similar to the history of the real Showbiz Pizza and Chuck E. Cheese and whatever. However, as soon as Secret of the Mimic came out, almost the entire community came to the consensus that, oh, that's a stupid theory because Henry obviously worked at MCM,
Which
and
not
was
much evidence
poached
for,
by
really.
Fazbear. What?
And that's I like that theory, but there's really not substantial enough
No.
evidence for it to say either way.
Yeah, because the narrative that forms around Henry MCM is that in William Afton's poaching of MCM employees, Henry was his direct connection, and he was the one who leaked the information about M2 and the one who was who William was emailing saying, how would you like to manage one of our new franchise locations? And then eventually that became him being the lead on the Fazbear project, and then blah blah blah. It follows from there.
Okay, that kind of doesn't make sense, right? Because Henry was not a manager of a location.
No, he wasn't.
That was never his role at Fazbear.
Yeah, he was viewed as the co-founder of Fredbear's Family Diner.
Yeah, he was a big player.
Yeah, which is why it was while I was playing the game. So I hadn't even watched I think I played it 2 days after it came out. So I know T-Dreads had already been streaming, and I'd heard the words God David, specifically from seeing it in his thumbnail, as I was playing the game. But when I was playing the game, I saw all the stuff about Chica's Party World, and I was like, oh, that's insane. This is a super cool mystery that we've been solving. And then I noticed that they referred to Henry, and this is the only time that he's ever been name dropped in the games. Because I know we get in the books and in the movies his name is Henry Emily, but we do not ever hear the name Henry or Charlotte in the games.
Yep.
Until Secret of the Mimic, when he is twice referred to as Hen and nothing else.
Journal entry. I got the change order from Hen last night.
And I was like, that's funky. Because you know what hen is the word for? A female chicken.
A female chicken.
This kind of sounds
so funny.
Legitimately.
And
in
there
the
is...
game that we learn, in the game where the only active Fazbear character that is actually trying to kill us is Chica, and you get Henry being framed through the lens of Hen.
Yep.
I'm looking between, Hen and the Chica mascot suit that is currently patrolling the area that I'm standing outside of, and I'm like, I think I might be honest. And then I found the whole Chica's Party World room in the admin offices, and I noticed that it crashed in 1975. And then I found the MCM net earnings graph. I think it was in a close by room in the executive suites. And I was like, huh. So Chica's party world crashed where MCM was still like above the red in 1975. Like it was still like in business at least until 1979.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because theoretically Edwin hasn't been an active member of the company since I put bombs in your belongings. They call me the bomb thief. So I was like, huh, that's interesting. And then I was like, the community has kind of always associated Henry with the color yellow, which is interesting because Chica's yellow. Yeah, no, that was like screw all of the like illegitimate connections. I was like, the color yellow. Boo.
Yeah, I think the fact they have Henry called Hen and then they have all the Chico's Party World stuff in the same game, it does feel a little intentional.
Like I feel like
there's
that
something
was the
there.
intention of it, was for us to be like, oh, this is like showing us the points of origin of all of these characters. Henry was someone who was always in the restaurant business and got poached by William Afton, but like successfully, as opposed to Ed.
It is okay. This is a complete tangent. It is kind of funny that Jackie's box predicted the mimic using an explosion to kill someone.
That was legitimately one of like the funniest things to happen. Was then I learned that Edwin blew up, and I was like, "You're fucking kidding me!"
Jackie's box is canon.
I had a Secret of the Mimic bingo card that, like, one of the things I had two that were Jackie's box related. One was the phrase "My name is Edwin," which unfortunately was never spoken. The words "My name is Edwin" were never said in the game. Although some people did get Jim Meskimen to say it like a few days after the game came out on like a live stream.
My name is Edwin. I made the mimic. It was difficult to put the pieces together, but unfortunately, something went so wrong, and now I can't do anything but sing this stupid song.
Like, he didn't do the cadence at all, just because he had the text in front of him and he had no idea about Jackie's box. He was just like, oh, someone wants to like do a thing about Edwin. That's super fun. Yeah, because like, oh, it was so funny because I'd found Jim Meskimen's like Instagram account before like the voice cast was even announced. Because he was just this like, I just saw these videos of this charming old man doing impressions of like Harrison Ford on my Instagram feed, and I was like, oh, this guy's amazing. I love following voice actors and stuff. So I gave him a follow, and it was like he was doing content with his daughter, and I was like, this is so adorable. I love this guy. And then the list comes out for the list. No, not that one. No. Not that one.
Was Edwin on the island?
Like, oh God. I don't think it would have been Edwin.
Ain't no party like the Chica party. That's what they said.
Totally Chica
is William Afton.
But then I saw the voice cast list and I was like, Jim Meskimen. That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. And I like a video from Jim Meskimen's Instagram account comes up and I was like, oh my God, it's that guy. I found him like completely by coincidence. Like just a week before the Secret of the Mimic voice cast announced, and then it's just revealed that he's gonna be Edwin Murray.
Dude, it was the field. The field drew you to him.
The field.
Speaking of the field.
I don't like
Tulpa, David.
Well, first I want to talk about how much I hate the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because like the field does an interesting thing, and like Fazbear Frights does an interesting thing, where it basically takes a lot of pseudoscience concepts and adapts them into science fiction.
Yeah, it says, what if they were real though?
Yeah, it says, what if they were real? And let's like explore the implications of if this wacky pseudoscience thing was like actually a real thing. And from that, you get, because the field is the big one that everyone talks about, mostly because of Gibby. Because Gibby read Fetch and then was immediately like, I'm gonna make the field my whole bit through this Fright series.
Also,
and everyone's like,
Brigadoon.
The field. But there's a lot of other pseudoscientific concepts that are adapted, specifically through the characters of Dr. Taggart and Dr. Talbert. The biggest one that I noticed when I was originally reading the Stitch Wraith Stingers was the experiments of Dr. Emoto. Have you heard of those?
Dr. Emoto. I think we talked about this a little bit the other day.
Yes. But yeah, for stream, I'll explain Dr. Emoto. So there was this guy. His name was Emoto. That was his name. Yes, his name is Masaru Emoto. And he basically had this idea, and it was like very similar to the field. I'm pretty sure Lynn McTaggart actually references Masaru Emoto in her book, The Field. But he believed that human thoughts and emotions could physically influence the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like very, very field-ism-y.
I mean, that's also Remnant. Even.
That's it, yes. Oh yeah, but because that's what Remnant basically is. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of like emotionisms.
Well, yeah. The field and Remnant are like pretty similar concepts, really. They're kind of I feel like they're sort of part of the same. They're part of the same system, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in Frights, like Dr. Taggart literally recreates the Emoto experiments, which is putting flowers in a glass of water and subjecting those glasses of water to different emotions, which basically means thinking about them really hard at the flowers and then seeing how that changes their growth. And then obviously, like in the real world, that didn't do anything because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
But in like the book, it's like, whoa, and like the agony flower wilted and
The
died.
agony flower.
Flower. The agony flower.
The wither rose from Minecraft.
Wilting rose emoji. Can we get some wilting rose emojis in chat for the
Can we
agony
get
flower?
Can we get some agony flowers in chat?
Can we get some agony flowers in the chat?
What color was the agony flower?
Red. Just like red is the color of agony. Andrew. Yeah, no, like the field is basically used as an explanation for why Remnant does what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Because emotionisms. But yeah, that's Emoto and the field.
And I've always appreciated how Scott does like the mythology of FNAF, like how the paranormal works, because it's very like unconventional and it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is really interesting.
Like he said, there are no ghosts in FNAF. You know, it's like they're like collections of memories or whatever.
I mean, to be fair, I like part of Tulpa David is like there are no ghosts in FNAF.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, to shout out fellow creator Absolex Guardian, they actually made like a whole video on the connections between FNAF and Assassin's Creed. Because apparently Assassin's Creed also references the field.
That's crazy.
And like a lot of those weird like thoughts influence reality-isms.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea about that. And there's also like apparently like some like alchemy stuff because of Sun and Moon. Yeah, I almost got convinced to put like alchemy stuff in part 3, but I was like, I need to focus more on like the actual theories that I'm making and not go, I already have Pregwin in the video. I already have Pregwin.
Into madness.
Into madness. But connections between FNAF and Toy Story. Well,
I mean, kinda, yeah.
Here's the connection. In the FNAF movie, Abby says that the spirits inside of the animatronics are her friends. So from the perspective of Freddy Fazbear, there is a friend inside me. Friend inside me.
Well, I mean, it is interesting, right? In like the FNAF movie, the puppetlings, they're not animatronics.
We're the puppetlings. Please feed us.
So that's the thing that I thought was interesting about the puppetlings is that they seemingly aren't like animatronics. They're just able to move.
Yeah, no. Apparently they're just and they can't even like move their limbs. They just kind of like move around.
The puppets using their remnant magic to move these things around.
Like I imagine, you know how basically they did like the piranha bit of like they're all in the water and then suddenly the water is churning red. I'm just imagining they're not even biting him, they're just hitting him really hard. and eventually he just gets like pulverized.
Pummeling him.
Pummel this
Puppetlings are mini Ritas.
Kinda. So it's room for one more.
Exactly.
I wonder if they are gonna do like sister location stuff in FNAF 3.
I think they are.
Because like I know everyone started saying this, but like pretty much the movies are doing the Silver Eyes series over again because we got the same like we are FNAF
and so are the games.
Oh, and the games are doing it too. Yeah. I mean, have we gotten the fourth closet bit from the games?
That's
yet?
Mimic. That's the Mimic, man.
Secret of the Mimic?
Yeah. Well, like the origin story of like the Charlie bot and everything lines, like
Yeah, I
parts
guess
of it
that's
line
true.
up pretty well. We haven't gotten like evil circus baby.
I mean, we did get Jackie.
You did get Jackie. It's true.
She was fucking backy.
Jackie is the fourth Charlie bot. That's my new
Jackie,
theory.
oh god. I mean, Jackie does have similarities to the puppet.
Yeah, I have a whole video about that.
Yeah, I mean, then again, I think it's Fiona-isms, not Charlie-isms, so.
I agree.
Yeah, because basically, like, what part 3 is going to be is, like, all of my theories saying, and this is what Fiona did, and this is what
Yeah.
Fiona did. And guess what? You know, like, the plush from FNAF 4, you know, Psychic Friend Fredbear?
Yeah, was it Fiona?
That's Fiona. That's Fiona.
Your ode to Fiona.
Oh, yeah. No, that's my wife right there.
Yeah. Are you talking about hand unit?
No, I'm actually not talking about hand unit because I'm specifically focusing on like the completion of Tulpa David, which is basically taking everything from God David and Fate Fiona and like smashing them together, and
Why
then
not
also saying
both?
there are no ghosts in FNAF. Oh yeah, I completely forgot. I've become both a Cassidy Afton and a Dave Afton believer at the same time.
What?
Yes, I
Okay,
believe
how
in
does
both.
that work?
So, well, I'm glad you asked. So, you know in the logbook, how there are like two entities talking to each other?
Mm-hmm.
And one of them's talking through altered text, and one of them's talking through faded text.
Yep.
And the other one's Michael Afton.
Yep.
And one of those entities, the one who writes in the faded text, that one's Cassidy. And the other one is Evad, which you reflect with Dave. My favorite FNAF character, Evad.
It's an evil wizard.
I am Evad.
I am Evad.
But yeah, you reflect that in the mirror and you get Dave.
It's true.
So Tulpa David is pretty much saying the opposite is true, and that the altered text is Cassidy, and the faded text is Dave.
Hmm.
I'm still figuring out the exact logistics of that. Because I don't want the entire thing to become a logbook theory.
Yeah.
Because it will do that if I get too into the weeds of it.
There are a lot
it
of,
will
there
just
are a lot of
become a
weeds
logbook.
in that book.
Yeah, but pretty much it's like it's saying that the two conclusions of Cassidy and Dave are correct. They're just for the opposite person.
Is Dave
Like
the Golden Freddy spirit then?
no, Cassidy's the Golden Freddy
Okay.
spirit, and Cassidy's the crying child. Like
Yeah.
basically, it's Cassidy Afton. And Dave Afton is the spirit of David Murray inside his head trying to turn him into David.
He is the god David.
Yes. Well, in specifically the Tulpa David
The
for me.
Tulpa David. Excuse me.
Yes. Well, because it's not God David, it's Tulpa
No,
David.
this is better than God David.
This makes Will care canon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it starts on the bedrock of this theory is what I call Fiona influence, which basically states that the supercomputer that is the F10N4 console is so good at thinking that it basically can like use the field to put thoughts in people's heads. It's not like mind control. Have you ever seen The Shining?
She's not Glitchtrap. I have
No,
seen The
no,
Shining.
no. You have seen The Shining?
Yeah.
So you know how like the Overlook Hotel is basically alive?
Mm-hmm.
So the Overlook Hotel is Fiona,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so imagine the Afton family as like Jack Torrance.
I can
Is
pretty
William
easily
Afton.
imagine Jack Torrance as William Afton.
Yeah, Jack Torrance is William Afton, and Danny is Cassidy Afton, the crying child. Wendy, let's say Wendy's like Elizabeth and also Michael.
Because Mrs.
And
Afton
so-
doesn't exist.
Because Mrs. Afton isn't real. So Fiona influence basically says that Fiona has been thinking so hard, robot Fiona in the basement, has been thinking so hard about making a new David ever since Edwin said, no, I'm not going to make new David. And then Fiona was like, fuck you, fine, I'll do it myself. And then she realized, I cannot in fact do it myself. So you know, eventually Fazbear starts sending in teams, and they don't succeed at doing anything. Neither capturing the mimic nor Fiona's goals of having them make new David. Then Arnold comes in. And I don't think Arnold succeeds either. Because I think the parachute ending is canon.
Yeah.
But basically the storyteller ending is sort of showing us what would happen if Fiona were to succeed.
Yeah.
You know, you'd play Moon.exe, you'd get the David program, which is what I call the Tulpa David. Basically, the idea is that Fiona thought about David so hard that she basically, she didn't make another copy of her code. She just sort of spontaneously willed a mimic version of David into existence. That sort of exists in her computing sphere. Because if she just made another copy of her code, she would need somewhere to put it. But she kind of just has the David code in her system.
He's got God David inside of her, dog.
God David inside of her, dog. Cassidy C. Afton, CC Afton. You're so right. This is true.
The C stands for crying.
C stands for crying. Cassidy crying Afton. But yeah, basically, this idea of David is what would be considered a tulpa, because Fiona thought so hard about David that she basically conjured a version of David.
And you probably should explain what a tulpa is.
Right.
For those of the audience that don't know.
So, tulpas are another idea that are adjacent to fieldisms and quantum magic and thoughts influencing reality. And a lot of pseudoscientific practices, it sort of adapts itself from ancient Tibetan monks and real world religion. But it's not like a Buddhist practice. No. Not really.
From what I understand, it's a relatively modern thing.
It's very new age. Yeah, it's very new age. In the way that most new age people are Buddhist, and I put that in heavy quotation marks. Tulpas are a very new age Buddhist in heavy quotation marks concept. That's basically if you meditate on something and you think about this person for long and hard enough, that you will manifest this person as a thought form, which that's technically another name for tulpas is thought forms. You'll manifest that in the sort of mental sphere or the field, pretty much. And that's basically, I think, where the ideas of tulpas stop. And it's basically a form of creating imaginary friends.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about computers doing this.
What if a computer could think?
This is basically the idea of pewter thinks so hard that it creates a separate personality within its own code, and that's what David is. And basically, this tulpa of David is sort of floating throughout MCM with nothing to attach to. Because part of this is have you seen John FNAF's video where he talks about the paperclip dilemma?
No.
Okay, so basically, I'm basically giving you a rundown of all of these concepts. The paperclip dilemma.
Oh wait, no, I know what the paperclip dilemma is. I just haven't watched.
Yeah, it's the one where
John's
it's
video
if you
about it.
yeah, it's if you give an AI a directive to make paperclips, and it runs out of paperclips to make. It runs out of the materials to make paperclips that it was provided. It will go to any lengths to continue making paperclips, including murder. And that was basically John FNAF's thing with Fiona and stuff. Is it's going so far to bring David back that it kills.
And that basically happens in Tales from the Pizzaplex, right? We have they program the mimic to take the head and arms off of endoskeletons, and then once it runs out of endoskeletons, it starts tearing apart people.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The directive is a very the idea of a central directive being an AI's purpose is kind of the guiding idea of all of these separate theories that I have. Where Fiona, F10N4's central directive is make David. Or raise David and be a mother to David. And now that there is no David because David is fucking dead, she's like, well then, directive 2.0, make new David.
Another David.
And then another David. And then she's like, well, of course, Edwin, my directive is to care for David, therefore you must make me new David. And Edwin's like, fuck you, no, I will not make new David. And Fiona, is like, what David? So she begins going to any lengths to create new David, which is basically the events of Secret of the Mimic.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the ending you get, she either succeeds or fails. I think canonically she fails, but this idea of the directive is the Tulpa David, which I think is the White Tiger hallucinations. I don't think that's a ghost.
Interesting. The White
And this
Tiger
is
is a
why.
projection.
White Tiger is literally a projection. Because I think that she's created this Tulpa David, and it's sort of just like floating throughout her system because it's just kind of there, and she's kind of connected to the entire facility like that. And its directive as a program, as a subset of the Mimic program, is become David, which involves putting itself into a body.
Mm-hmm.
Which there's only the real one path to putting it in the Mimic's body, which is, doing moon.exe, collecting all the little remnant collectibles, putting them in the game, having that program distilled and installed in your data diver, then putting that in the Mimic, turning it into David. Boom, easy, complete. Clearly that doesn't happen because we have God David.
Also, we see the Mimic again, and he's clearly not David.
Exactly. And also there's like the whole like crying child and Gregory or Davidisms. How I believe that happens, and also why I believe that the tiger is a manifestation of this Tulpa David, is because this David is now actively looking for people to make into David. And for it to like bond with. And so basically any human that it comes across is going to do that. And the reason that it doesn't work with Arnold is because, and this is specifically a parallel to the story B72 from Tales from the Pizzaplex, where there's this example of this artificial personality that tries to meld back with the person who created it, and it doesn't work. Because the guy who created this alternate personality, it's basically a tulpa. It's basically a tulpa. It's like, but I want to become one with you again, Father, creator of mine. And Billy, the kid who created this personality, is like, no, I want to be my own man. Grandma's like, bet, Billy, I'm old. I'm gonna die. I'll let this thing bond with me. And basically, she tricks B7, which is the evil personality, into
M7.
bonding with the grandma.
No.
M767? Nah.
No!
Chat, can we ban Mortimer?
Shut.
Ban this guy.
Ban this guy.
And the B7 personality bonds with his grandma so hard that it fucking kills her from the shock of it. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's what happens when like you're in the basement and the tiger is there and you see it and you like run into it and then it like looks at you really hard and then you die.
It just looks. It's somebody. The white tiger death animation. It just looks at you.
Looks at you with my big old eyes. He goes, huh? And then he turns his head and he goes, huh?
He's gotta get a real good look at you. This guy's not wearing a striped shirt. What the heck?
Where's the rest of you?
Well, that's one of the things that I've heard people talk about is like, oh, why would if the white tiger is David's spirit, then why would it kill you? And we don't know if it does, like directly just kill you.
See, and that's like my explanation for it, is that it sees, oh look, human. Let me bond with it to make it David. And
look
then
into my eye.
Look into my eyes. And then it encounters this like sickly man who's 36 hours sleep deprived. And making any sort of contact with his mind just instantly obliterates him. But eventually, the Aftons move in, and then Fiona basically starts, setting the Tulpa David on Cassidy Afton, because there's a real candidate for David. And she moves into her part of the plan, which is influence William Afton in order to raise this child like David.
influence him to care.
Exactly, and this is where you get will care.
It all goes back to will care.
It all comes back to will care.
Don't you know you're my favorite? Don't you know that I care about you?
Because I don't think that William Afton gives a shit about his kids.
Oh hell no!
I don't even really believe in will trophy.
Not even will trophy.
That's what some people have equated this belief that I have to, is will trophy, where it's like, oh, William Afton's a narcissist, so he only cares about his kids as like extensions of his own ego.
I don't even think it's necessarily. I never interpret it as like a narcissism thing.
I do think he's a narcissist.
Yeah, he is, but
I just think he like fully neglects his kids though.
he doesn't see his kids as an extension of himself. They're like, you know, they're his creations, they're tools.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's like also a part of like will trophy, where it's like your assets to me. And the reason that he becomes like so obsessed with bringing Crying Child back is because he's like, no, my brand.
Oh, I mean, I don't think he ever actually tried all that hard to bring the Crying Child back.
Me neither. Because allow me to tell you a story. So you're William Afton. Put yourself in that mindset.
I'm William Afton.
There we go. Yes,
I'm an
you are William.
alcoholic.
I don't care about any of my children. I love being evil.
You, Michael.
There we go. Perfect. Get this guy in the third movie. So you have just moved into this stupid Edwin Murray's house because he's a lame guy who died on you, and now you can't finish your project. So you're moving into his house and stealing all of his property because you're William Afton and you're an awful person. And you're in there, you move in, and all of a sudden, you start hearing little whispers in the back of your head.
And not the
That
usual
basically-
ones.
Not the usual ones. These ones sound very maternal and like this lady that you used to know who you're pretty sure was married to that Edwin loser. And you start thinking, why do I hear these voices in the back of my head? And then you ignore it because you're William Afton and you're busy being evil.
Whatever.
You're like, whatever, this is weird.
I'm gonna go kill some kids.
Yes. And like all throughout these buildings, you start hearing whispers of stuff. And you're like, this is crazy stuff. And eventually, the whispers, like subconsciously, you're not even aware of it. But at some point, you start doing things that you think are completely like of your own accord. Like you find these mycelium men. You know, these plushies that can listen and then repeat back what they say.
I'm gonna spy on my kid.
And you're like, huh, you know what? This sounds like a really good thing to do. I'm going to turn one of these mycelium men into a Fredbear plush and give it to my kid so I can use it to spy on him. And since you're William Afton and you think that you're the smartest and greatest guy on earth, you're like, wow, I'm such a genius. I can't believe I came up with this idea all on my own. So you do this.
William Afton is the greatest inventor on earth.
Inventor on earth. And so, like, 50 feet below the ground, F10 and 4 is like,
Chilling.
I guess she isn't stroking her chin evilly because she doesn't have any hands. But she's like, you know, making the evil hand gestures like, I'm so brilliant. I've just convinced William Afton to make this thing that will perfectly allow me to talk to the crying
I
child.
convinced him to will care.
I convinced him to will care. And through this Fredbear plush, she is now speaking to the crying child and putting little thoughts in his brain and priming his mind for infestation by the Tulpa David. And so that's what you see throughout FNAF 4 is like some of those weird lines that we don't have any explanation from is her like alluding to David's memories. Like, don't you remember what you saw? I don't think Cassidy saw shit. I don't think he saw anything. The reason that Cassidy's crying is because his mind is under active assault from this weird tiger-shaped being that is now in his brain and trying to be like, hello, I'm David.
My name is David. David, that is my name. David.
And now your name is David. Woo!
Where is my ball?
And so this experiment is going really well. And Fiona does all of these things to William Afton to get him to treat his kid like she would have treated David, which doesn't end up going the best because William Afton is still a neglectful parent. And he's just like, Michael, you take care of him. But she gets him to give Cassidy his David's toys. William Afton's at like, you know, whatever clothing store there is in Hurricane, Utah, and he sees a striped shirt. And he hears the Fiona voice being like, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it.
Buy the God shirt. Put a God Band-Aid on his knee.
Put the Band-Aid on that child's knee. And William Afton's like, this is such a good idea. I can't believe I have such good fashion sense for my child. I'll buy this striped shirt.
Wow, weird voice in my head. You're pretty smart.
You're pretty smart
he
for a woman.
He just brushes it off completely.
Yeah, no, like, and you know, misogynist William Afton's like, for a woman's voice, you sound really smart because you're me. You're actually just me and not Fiona Murray.
William Afton's secret female alter ego.
I mean, Toy Chica is William Afton.
That's true.
But eventually, this experiment that Fiona has been running fails because of this stupid, dumbass kid named Michael and his stupid gay little friends who've been bullying this child. And Fiona's just in the basement like, damn it. Oh, this is why I only had one child. The fact that William Afton had 2 more kids is exactly what foiled Fiona's plans to make David 2.0. Because David and Cassidy are in the process of becoming one being, and David slowly taking over the crying child's consciousness. And then he gets shoved into a Fredbear suit and has his entire head chomped off. This puts a little bit of a dent in Fiona's plan of, you know, like, melding these 2 kids' brains together if there's no brain matter.
Yeah, just scoop the goop back into the skull. It'll be fine.
Scoop the goop.
Just sort of, put it. I can put you back together. Don't worry about it.
And that's exactly what it is. That's what I will put you back together is. It's Fiona saying, I will put you, David, my son, back together.
I will create Gregory.
Yes. However, significant roadblock to this. Since David was actively in the process of melding with Crying Child's mind, since the Crying Child, we can assume, and we pretty much all agree on, that at least the Crying Child possesses Golden Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
David's stuck in there too.
Whoa.
And that's how you get Golden Duo.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy.
I never
stuff.
liked Golden Duo. I thought Golden Duo was so dumb, and I never believed in Cassidy being an MCI victim. Like there being this other girl named Cassidy who was also just killed and shoved into the Fredbear suit. I thought that was so dumb. And now that I have this, I'm like, perfect. Golden Duo, as the Stitch line intended.
So which one's the Vengeful Spirit then?
Cassidy.
Okay.
Yes.
Why is he the one you should not have killed?
No idea.
Yeah,
Still figuring that out. Still figuring that part out.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that keeps me from believing in Bite Victim Toyshink or David Toyshink or whatever. Is that like William Afton just didn't kill the guy?
See, if anything, I could get behind this being like David, because this is also like, you know how like F10N4 isn't Fiona and is therefore evil because of it, and like has this greater capacity to just do evil shit because it's a program. I believe the same thing about this Tulpa David, which is now stuck inside Golden Freddy.
Evil David.
This kid named Cassidy.
Crying little sad sack.
Stupid loser.
This stupid piss baby.
Crying all the time. And he keeps trying to reach out to his brother and say, it's me, Cassidy. I don't want to be David.
Michael.
And David's like, fuck you. You're gonna be David. Like, I just imagine David becoming this angry, petulant spirit who's just like, let me merge with you, bro. And Cassidy's like, no, please don't merge with me. I'm too young to die. And David's like, fuck you. I died when I was 5 years old. You died when you were like, what, 8, 9,
6 or 7.
6 or 7?
Okay, that begs the question: where is David and Cassidy during Pizzeria Sim?
Yeah.
Because they kind of have to be there for one of them to be the Vengeful Spirit.
This is true. I'm unsure because I've never, like, even when I was a Molten MCI believer, well, I still like largely to an extent believe in Molten MCI. I was like, it doesn't make any sense that Golden Freddy would be a part of this.
There is,
because
there is the theory that Scraptrap has the Golden Freddy parts on him.
That's the closest thing I could get.
Which
to
I'm like sold on that one.
Yeah, it's like if Scraptrap has the Golden Freddy suit attached to it, that could kind of make sense of like the physical Golden Freddy suit being there in part. Though that's like Shatter Victimisms, and I don't think Shatter Victim can happen under this like Tulpa David Golden Duo weirdness. Instead, I just kind of like primed to believe that the Fredbear suit is still in the building somewhere.
Just there.
Yeah, because presumably FNAF 6, it's in the Faz plot. If we want to assume that Fredbear's or FNAF 1 or whatever location that the Golden Freddy suit was in, like that Fredbear suit that the Crying Child and David are possessing now, is also in the Faz plot, that explains why Golden Freddy's there.
Yeah.
And therefore, once William Afton is finally back in the same building on the same premises as the Golden Freddy suit, that allows him to, sort of bond and steal him and put him in Ultimate Custom Night.
And wait, who do you think the 5th MCI kid is then? Charlie. Okay.
Charlie's already there because of Lefty. So technically, Molten MCI would only have 4 kids.
Molten some of the MCI.
Molten some of the MCI because the other one's the puppet.
Most of the MCI. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, because like the whole like 5-in-1 thing is sort of, I think, the idea of these 5 entities, that being Scrap Baby, William Afton, Lefty, Molten Freddy, and Golden Freddy being in the same building. Because that's all of the like Candy Cadet stories that everyone, that eventually led to Lefty TCI. It's 5 entities being put in one place. And theoretically, you could say the 5th one is Michael, but that wasn't the intention.
Then there's like, because there's the whole thing about like, in all the stories, it's like, the 5 orphans die and he stitches their 5 bodies together into one body, right?
Yes. I don't know. I think it's all like an
they all become
metaphor.
The Blob.
Oh God, no. I mean, if anything, nah.
What is the Blob?
You've actually just caused me to brain like the smallest of brain blasts.
It kind of, I feel like that could kind of work.
Of like the Blob being the new house for Tulpa David after he was ejected from Gregory.
It's the one that the 5 things
because the whole reason why I think that Gregory was even able to happen is because William Afton escaped from Ultimate Custom Night. Therefore, setting the Crying Child spirit to rest and allowing the Tulpa David to actually carry out its original mission again. Because now it's not stuck to this stupid child anymore because of Happiest Day. Also, like a whole thing about like Fiona potentially being the glitch bear from FNAF World. And like her trying to... Exactly. And also like her mission would be set Cassidy's spirit free so she can have David back and, put him in a human body again. Because it's been 30 years since, the Crying Child died. More than 30 years. And Fiona's just been sitting there this whole time like, why the hell isn't my David Daviding? He's stuck to this stupid yellow bear.
Get out of that stupid bear, son.
Get out of that stupid bear. So, eventually, Glitchtrap happens.
Glitchtrap.
And that's a whole other thing.
Yep. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Glitchtrap.
But Gregory is pretty simple compared to all of the Crying Childisms, because the Crying Child is always the more difficult part because we don't have any technical support for that.
we know the least about the crying child.
We know the
out
least
of
about the crying
three.
child. But like Gregory, you can at least be like, oh, okay. Balloon World arcade machine is where his consciousness is stored.
Sometimes it feels like we know too much about Gregory.
Yeah, so what it would be is then, you know, now that Fiona has the Tulpa David, the Pizzaplex is being built, she's searching for new David subjects in this Pizzaplex. She finds Gregory, puts the Tulpa David in his mind. He becomes David for a bit, does the evil bidding of Fiona. Then he's set free, security breach happens, blah, blah, blah. What Glitchtrap is.
Yep.
It's more complicated in some areas,
Yeah.
less complicated in others.
Let's start with the colors, right?
Green and purple. So, green and purple, the shortest way I can say it is glitch both.
Mm-hmm.
And the longer way that I could say it is the green that is like the base of Glitchtrap's form is the mimic program.
Yep. Yep.
Where Glitchtrap itself is a copy of the mimic program that William Afton made after the crying child died, and like the Fiona influences him started like going crazy in his brain, being like, well, now Cassidy's dead, I can't make another David, help, error, blah, 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 blah. And then William Afton's just sitting there like, why are the voices in my head suddenly screaming? They sound a lot less nice. And so William Afton, you know, starts doing the remnant experiments because now he's insane.
Yep.
Instead of just being evil.
Yeah,
he's now crazy.
He's
and evil.
crazy and evil. Now he's a mad scientist.
And part of this, it eventually leads to the point that everyone thinks it does, which is William Afton becomes obsessed with his own immortality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he very, very quickly discovers Remnant and then immediately abandons any of the plans that Fiona was trying to put into his brain. Because he now has the conviction of, aha, I can become immortal. Mwahahaha.
He's called Will because of all of his willpower.
Yes. And so he does the same thing that F10N4 did when creating M2, which is creating another copy of the mimic code, making it into himself, and then proceeding to fucking die. Which then, after his soul escapes from Ultimate Custom Night, it attaches itself to whatever machine that he built that created Glitchtrap. And that's what Glitchtrap is. I like phrase it as being the circuit boards that like the Help Wanted people and Fazbear Entertainment scanned into their systems.
Yeah.
With Glitchtrap in there. Like, whatever the vehicle that it was, it's the thing that they scanned in to put Glitchtrap into the game. And William Afton's soul had attached to this mimic program. So the green is the mimic program, and all of like the purple bits attached to it and like surrounding it is the William Afton.
And this is something I've touched on in my first video especially, is that the green representing the mimic program. That's sort of the main theory I'm working with at the moment. So I mean, it was kind of crazy. That's part of the reason I took such an interest in Chroma Key theories. You know, we're sort of thinking along the same lines.
Yeah, because I know this, like, for me, this train of thought was started when I was watching like T-Dreads' streams back in July. And he was like talking literally about green and purple. And then I was like, he's gonna use this for supplemental evidence. What if I made like a whole theory about this? And that is like the reason that I made Chroma Key Theory instead of just making a Henry's Party World video.
It's funny. The first theory I made was literally based on, I think it might have been something that like Withered Circle said on one of his streams. Someone said it. It was like a throwaway like idea that they put out there, which was that the reason, so you have the puppet and baby, right?
Yeah.
And the idea is basically that, you know, they both have green eyes, right? They both have this association with the color green. And the idea that he put out there, and it was very like, he just like said it, they didn't really talk about it anymore, but it stuck with me, was that basically the animatronics having the mimic program in them makes possession easier, or it like creates a more complete possession when because like
the fusion of animatronic AI and soul.
Yeah. And
I mean,
thought,
hey, that's what I say with Glitchtrap.
and then it's like I just went down that line, right? And the more I thought about it, the more it makes sense, right? Like, you know, the puppet, like they constantly talk about how self-aware and like smart the puppet is, right?
yeah.
And then we get Baby, and like she's super intelligent too, right? She's, you know, like manipulative, and I mean, even like there are a lot of parallels between Michael and Sister Location and the way like F10N4 leads Arnold in Secret of the Mimic,
Oh, absolutely.
or even in Ruin, M2, you know, tricking Cassidy.
You mean Cassie?
Oh, I do mean Cassie, yeah. Did he have to?
Yeah.
Did he have to put two such similar names in there?
Well, because I think her name's short for Cassandra. So
Sandra.
I was like, I don't think he's gonna do another like Cassidy. I think it's Cassie as like a little nod. Because also, you know, Gregory being the new David, then Cassie would technically be the new Cassidy. Parallels. Fake Fiona.
I thought the princess was Cassidy.
Oh God, I'm not going into Princess Quest here. I still have to figure that out. I still have to figure Princess Quest out.
Who is Old Man Consequences?
Don't care.
He's red. He's Agony.
He's Andrew.
Fuck
Like
you.
legitimately, Old Man Consequences is what I believe the closest thing that the games has to Andrew is.
Yeah.
Or Jake, or whatever that is. Like the spirit that lives at the deepest level of something that like sort of embodies the concept of agony.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, you get to the lake in Ultimate Custom Night, and Old Man Consequences is like, well, you sit here for a while, fish with me. And in the background, you just hear, ah, 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 ah.
I don't.
Riot!
And there are a lot of weird connections between Old Man Consequences and Golden Freddy.
Yep.
Dreadbear coming out of the Red Lake. What's that about?
Oh, the Agony Lake. The Agony Lake.
Agony Lake.
The Agony Lake.
What were we talking about? Yeah,
Glitchtrap.
Glitchtrap. Right. So yeah, I was talking about the parallels. Yeah. So the parallels with Sister Location and and just basically everything with the Mimic are just so strong. And I mean, I might actually be insane, but there is a part of me that is starting to think that Scott at least had like part of the idea of the Mimic in his head when he was creating Sister Location.
Maybe. Because
he was in talks with Steelwool at that time before Sister Location released.
I was like, I've heard it said that he was already concepting for Help Wanted during Sister Location.
It's like you know what T-Dreads always says, like the Scott Con thing.
Yes,
Where
and
he'll include all these weird mysterious details that he doesn't necessarily have an answer for, just so he like has an opportunity for later, like he can do something with it later.
It's like the box,
and
like
I
pretty
think
much the box.
I think that's
what
the chip was. It was put in there, and it didn't have an exact answer. And I mean like the green chip inside.
Which is why we got Eleanor.
I think that's what it is. Like it's this sort of weird thing that doesn't have like a perfect answer just based on the game itself. And then later on, we're given new like context for what it is. Like he's able to use that for something else. That one detail. Because I mean, people could say what they want. That chip in Helpy's brain is the baby chip.
It is the same.
I'm not backing down from that.
Yeah, and you shouldn't, because it's true.
It's true.
Wait, that's true.
People try to gaslight me and say that it doesn't look the same. It does. Same. Use your eyes. Open your eyes. I literally I put the two over each other at like 50% opacity in my video, and they just line up perfectly.
Damn.
And that's another thing. My next video is gonna go into this quite a bit, right? And okay, John FNAF just made a video about this. The idea of like the personality chips.
Yes.
Because that's the thing, right? Baby specifically describes the chip. I don't know why do we call it that? It's not a chip.
Yeah, it's like a I don't even know what to
She
call it.
specifically calls it a card. It's like a memory card.
Yeah, it's like a SIM card.
Well, yeah, and even like
Or-
the Helpy chip is even more like that's just a SIM card.
Yeah,
I only call it a chip because that's what everyone else calls it.
because I think that's how everyone thinks about like Nintendo Switch games.
Mhm.
They like call them either cards or chips.
Yeah.
and it looks like a Switch cartridge.
Yeah, oh yeah, the Helpy chip looks exactly like a Nintendo DS game. It's really funny.
Yeah. I mean, like, you come up with the word for it, and as soon as it spreads, you know, it's very hard to change that. Like, as someone who's in the Deltarune community, like, everyone who calls it, like, the bunker or snow graves still,
Mhm.
even though there's, like, it's the shelter, and it's called the weird route. Yeah, like, once the community has a consensus for what a thing is called, ain't nobody changing their
Yeah.
minds.
Well, and I guess they do call it like a motivation chip, personality chip in Security Breach, which is, I don't know, that is a little weird. I guess that's just what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, then again,
that's-
like, Security Breach is a little fuzzy with the details.
yeah,
And, like, how I think about Security Breach is in, like, Scott sees all these details, and basically Ruin, Help Wanted 2, and Secret of the Mimic have been, okay, I am now trying to course correct.
yeah,
Because it's canon. All of Security Breach is
Yeah.
canon.
no,
And every detail that we have in there is canon.
hmm
However, any details that we get in future games are going to take precedent over Security Breach,
Mhm.
like purely because of, oh, this is, you know, correcting for the mistakes of this and like using the details from Security Breach to the best of their ability
yeah,
to tell the story that Scott still wanted to tell.
because like yeah,
I'm 90
Scott went into Security Breach with like a specific intention in mind, and it did not come across. But the story we got is, you know, the story we got regardless of Scott's original idea, right?
Yeah.
That's one of those things I almost wish Scott didn't say that. I almost wish he didn't tell us, because it sort of it muddies the waters a little bit, where people are like, we can't take any evidence from Security Breach, it's all fake.
Well, yeah, because now that Scott said that, it means we can take evidence from Security Breach. It is just not the full story. It is like just extremely blatantly not the full story.
Scott has to deal with Burn Trap existing.
Yeah, exactly. Which I don't think matters too much.
No.
Like, all it means is not that now there's like ever so slightly more complications in like the whole like Glitchtrap being a villain thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am 99.67% sure that Scott had intended for Vanny to be this like big huge antagonist,
Yeah.
and just from him being Scott Cawthon, that didn't happen.
Yeah. She got, I mean,
And
Vanny
then the
got like a
reason-
whole origin story game.
Yeah, and then like the reason that Vanny got shafted for the rest of Ruin and Help Wanted 2 was because Scott was like, well, I guess we're not doing Vanny anymore. I guess we're doing the Mimic. And he's like, well, now we have to focus entirely on Mimic stuff, and I don't give a fuck about Vanny anymore, because I'm gonna use the fact that we got Burn Trap to set up for the Mimic.
I kind of feel
I
like
guess that's just what happened.
it was Steel Wool. You know, Scott told them like what Burn Trap was, and they just ran with that. They took Burn Trap way too far.
Yeah.
Because it seems like, based on what he said, Scott just like told them what Burn Trap was and then set them off. Like,
Yeah, basically, like, Scott was like, so basically, Burnt as William Afton in
He's
the Spring
there.
Bonnie suit. Because pretty much, I'm pretty sure what it was going to be was like what the White Tiger ended up being.
mhm, yeah. It
And
would've
specifically
it would've
his,
been
like,
a projection.
Flashes. Yeah, no, it literally would have been like Golden Freddy-isms. Which is why I think the White Tiger and Golden Freddy are connected so inextricably. Is because I think to an extent that they're the same entity.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least you know, Tulpa David, then
Yeah.
it's Tulpa David filtered through the lens of Cassidy Afton's mind.
I don't know, it does almost feel like the MXES entity is almost sort of what Burntrap was supposed to be, more or less.
Not really, because
Well, more
Mixes are much
so
more
than
active
actual Burntrap. I mostly say that just because of the original MXES design,
Ruinborn Afton, I
Yeah.
always come back.
which
Yeah,
is very
what
strange.
I think,
Actually, I want your thoughts on MXES.
yeah, Mixes is very simple to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to think about mixes anymore because it makes my brain hurt. So I have
True.
simply said for now that MXES was a safeguard protocol that William Afton developed in order to control the F10N4 probe. After the crying child died and William Afton started going crazy, he eventually like discovered the F10N4 console more or less,
Mm-hmm.
or like realized the power that it had. And immediately went, wait, I can profit off of this.
That's
Or basically went,
Sounds
wait, I can
about
become
right.
immortal off of this. He started his Glitchtrap project. He made MXES in order to shut the F10N4 program up and stop the silly voices in his brain that weren't already
Mhm.
his. He's like, I already have enough voices in my head, and they're telling me to kill children. And so that's what MXES was until Glitchtrap happened, and then the Pizzaplex happened, and then everyone was like, holy shit, we can use this.
we could use
And then
this.
basically MXES sort of adapted itself into the AR
Mhm.
realm.
Well, and you know, getting back to color theory, why is MXES blue?
Well, I think it's blue because, well, this is like part of this is probably all that I will say about Pregwin. Because this is related to
The
Pregwin.
greatest theory on
Um,
Earth.
So basically, the color blue in technology means that it's a remnant from Edwin.
Mm.
Because Edwin's color is blue. Because M1 is green, like M1 and F10N4 is green, because that's like Fiona's color.
That's true.
And there is very limited blue that we see in like the technology realm.
Mhm.
Because even like Hand Unit uses a green typer interface with its stuff,
Yep,
I believe.
he does.
And I'm like, oh, because that's mimicisms.
He also has
um,
Dispatch's voice.
Yeah, I was like, that's like, it's the same reason why I'm like, I don't really need to dive into Hand Unit in my video because you
Yeah.
already did a great enough job of doing that.
Well, yeah, I'm making a whole video about it.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'll let you handle Hand Unit. Because even then, I'm like, I'm only addressing MXES because I have to. I
Yeah.
don't want to. I don't want to have to address MXES. I'm like, but I have to because it's the F10N4 Glitchtrap video, and MXES is literally the it's the F10N4 console
He's
rabbit thing.
well, yeah, he's Glitchtrap and Fiona. Like,
Exactly. Like, I think it's like William Afton saw the Cradle program,
mhm.
and was like, all right, give it rabbit ears, make it
Make it a rabbit.
make it beat up Fiona for
I
30
like
years.
rabbit.
I like rabbit.
Make it rabbit.
Make it rabbit.
Make it into
Yeah.
my persona.
Because it even has the
Immediately.
like green and purple chromatic aberration. That's the same thing as like Princess Quest, which I think is just like a William Afton Glitchtrapism.
Yeah. Well, then like the entire AR world is purple as hell.
Yeah, because I think that was initially like a product of William Afton dabbling in all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think the entire AR world was basically William Afton's creation that was expanded later on
Mm-hmm.
into this whole thing. Because
Makes
again,
sense.
they interface through it. Everyone interfaces through the in the AR network using Vanny masks.
A rabbit.
Which are
Make
fucking
the
rabbits.
masks rabbits.
Like literally, I think this was all like Glitchtrap being like, yes, rabbit, purple.
I'm just imagining William down in like the sister location bunker, just making a bunch of rabbit masks.
This will be perfect 40 years from now.
This will be perfect 40 years from now.
The kids in 2020 are gonna love this one.
Yeah, and that is another thing. Like the Vanny mask is a very dated design. It does not look like something that was made for the Pizzaplex.
You know, basically what I think happened is like all of the like Glitchtrap influencing the Pizzaplex things, I think happened from one singular incident. And that is someone like found William Afton's secret workshop and found all of his like unfinished projects. And like the biggest of those being, I think, whatever processor that the Glitchtrap program was running on, that had now been like newly infested with William Afton's spirit because Ultimate Custom Night had just ended. The initial prototype for the Vanny mask and like other things like that.
Yeah.
Like probably even like the blueprints from MXES, which is how they made the AR world with like all the Fazbear technicians.
Well, he would have, I mean, right, because Fiona created blueprints for the cradle, right?
Holy shit, Withered Circles in chat.
He's been there.
Oh, I like just opened chat. I'm like, oh, hi Withered. Hi Withered Circle.
Hello, Mr.
Hello.
Circle. You missed the
Mr.
part where I
Circle.
admitted to plagiarizing you. No,
You missed the part where I said I'm making Green Afton but better.
you missed the part where Mori's making Edwin pregnancy theory.
Oh, we love Pregwin here. We love Pregwin.
Pregwin. I feel like we haven't talked about color enough for the podcast about Chroma Key Theory.
Yeah.
What's a color?
Red.
Red. Let's talk about
Agony.
red. That is, yeah, that was
I mean,
the
like
basis
legitimately
of the
my
second
like bit
part.
about colors itself is like pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when it comes down to it, every color represents a unified concept.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just run down the list
Just a quick overview
because I have
of the
specific
rainbow.
words. Yeah, so red is agony, which I pretty much detail in my whole video
Yeah.
about why agony is red. Orange is vitality.
Vitality.
Or basically like the spark of life.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like because like all of the remnantisms and stuff, and basically like it's tied to the fact that I believe yellow is, if red is the extreme negative, yellow is the extreme positive.
Mm-hmm.
To contrast from agony, I use the word ecstasy, because it's basically like purest joy, purest hope. Though also red is like
Remnant is
you know,
ecstasy, the drug.
well, remnant is ecstasy plus a bunch of pain. Which basically like it's the whole like positive and negative, light and dark, creation and destruction.
The yin and yang.
Orange is the sum total, pretty much. It's like instead of being the whole, it is the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
And that's what remnant is. Green is love, which there's also the natural green and unnatural green, which is basically, you know, natural love versus unnatural love, which like ties into a lot of puppetisms. Green is love, and also Fiona. Blue is despair.
Yeah,
it's like
blue is
like
sad.
Yes, but I'm basically trying to say that like the embodiments of these colors are like the most extreme forms of each. So like it's not just sad, it's despair. It's not just pain, it's agony. It's not just joy, it's ecstasy.
The most
it's not just like
form of sadness. Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes purple evil.
Yep. The evil
Because like I have all
essence.
these like nuanced concepts that are like, oh, corruption and madness and shadow and mystery and the perversion of nature and Frankensteinisms, and I'm just like, it's evil. It's just evil.
It's after.
And then gray is basically like ghosts.
Gray is Michael.
Yes, which is like it's the Michael color. It's also like the ghost color. And then from that, black and white are death and life, respectively.
Of course. Classic.
Which
like the Green Lantern.
also ties into like puppetisms. Because here's an interesting concept. And yeah, like I gotta be out of here like 5:15.
All right.
So last thing I'll say, and I'll leave this on a note of mystery.
A note of mystery.
For you all. So the puppet is black with white stripes, which means that it is life within death. But the white tiger is white with black stripes,
Oh.
which means death within life.
Ooh. I like that.
Also green and blue eyes, so think about
Yep,
that.
yep.
Love and despair. And with that, I have to go.
Real quick, let's do an outro.
Yeah. Watch Chroma Key Theory. Give me money. Subscribe.
I agree. I agree with
The
what
universe
he
is
said.
a hologram. Reality is an illusion. Buy gold. Bye.
Subscribe
Subscribe.
Like
to me and
and
Meat Loafers.
subscribe. Yeah, to both
But
of us.
mostly me.
Mostly mostly me. Don't subscribe to Mori. I changed my mind.
No. No.